I could say to make you try to feel okay, and nothing you could do to stop me feeling the way I do. And if the chance should happen that I never see you again, just remember that I'll always love you.
I found out that I am having IV steroids. Not in a month's time, not in a week's time, but tomorrow. And I'm really nervous to the point of being crying. And yeah. So, this video is going to be me having my IV steroids and my routine with having IV steroids. Now, I've never had IV steroids before. I've had IVIGs, but not IV steroids. So, I'm pretty scared, but so the cannula will have to be in me for 3 days. But it'll only really be an hour a day, an hour at the most. So, yeah. So, now I've had my cannula put in and Tramps had a bandage put on as well. I am now waiting for the infusion. However, after when I had the cannula put in, I went really dizzy and felt really, really warm. And yeah, and that's generally what happens when I have a cannula put in, but I just learned to deal with it, and you only have a cannula put in once each time. Now I'm all hooked up after some time waiting, and I was a bit worried about getting hooked up, mainly because of the water, what they have to flush down first. But in the end it was eventually all okay.
Yeah, all okay. We'll have to do it all again tomorrow now.
Yeah. So I've done my second day now, and I've done it, and now I'm going to the toy shop for a bit of a treat. So now I've just finished my last day, or is it my last day? Yesterday I failed to do it. I was so anxious, so upset, and I just couldn't do it. So therefore we missed it yesterday because I was way too upset and frightened. And this morning I got up early because I was terrified, but I actually managed to do it. However, I still have to go back in tomorrow because I need to do my round 3 of it. So, yeah, so one more day left. I can do this, Evie. Go. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about Sunday and that it was difficult to manage. So Saturday, as you already know, I managed it really well. Sunday, however, I got up and I was scared, just like you would be when you're having IV steroids. But I got there and I was running out of the building. I was terrified and I was scared of the nurses, and it seemed to happen so quickly. And yeah, like I was in the room where we did it on Saturday and we managed fine, but it got to the point where my mum had to phone family relatives to come up and help, and that I was out of the building. I was running, I was trying to get away, I was trying to run home, and I was just so scared of the nurses, and I didn't feel comfortable. It was like Friday all over again, but wasn't as bad. But anyway, on Sunday, I eventually managed to get it in with a few tears, well, quite a few tears and quite a lot of anxiety. But I managed it, and then I had to have my cannula taken out. Now, taking my cannula out wasn't as bad as I thought. I gave them my hand, and I asked them to speak to me about it while they did it. So I gave them my hand, and then I closed my eyes, and I cuddled my mum, and they said, so I'd just taken off the bandage, and then they said, now we're taking off the sticky plaster, and then after 2 minutes it was all over and done, and all that worrying for nothing. But yeah, so the infusion was half an hour, then they took the cannula out, and then I got to go for dinner afterwards, so it wasn't that bad. So yeah. Now, how I felt after, and how I now feel a few weeks after the IV steroids. Personally, I feel worse. It just doesn't feel right, and it feels like I've gone downhill almost, and everything what we've achieved with the IVIG is famoosh, it's gone. I really want to have another IVIG. I feel like the IV steroids haven't worked at all, and it just seems like I've been on steroids for a long time, and it's time to get off them. So I am actually coming off IV steroids. I am actually coming off steroids soon. So I'm looking forward to that, because I've been on them for like 6 months now, which isn't very healthy. But after the IV steroids, everybody else says I'm doing better, but I feel in myself, I feel worse. I feel terrified still, and my rage has gone up, and I don't feel like I felt a month ago, and it's not a good feeling either. So yeah, thank you ever so much for watching Pandas, My Dog and Me, and see you next time. Bye for now.